Good morning, everybody. We have a higher trade in the grain markets here early on Monday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. December corn futures up 5 1/4 at 428.5. January soybeans up 16 cents at 11.97. December Chicago wheat up 8 1/4 at 601.5. December Kansas City wheat up 3 3/4 at 554. December spring wheat up 5 at 549. So we did post some fresh highs in the nearby December corn contract, also in the nearby January soybean contract overnight. Very strong trade continues. Another COVID vaccine has been proven effective. AstraZeneca said this morning that its COVID vaccine could be 90% effective and that it would have as many as about 200 million doses ready by the end of the year. Pfizer said previously, I believe it had about 50 million ready. COVID cases in the U.S. are spiking in both urban and rural communities. I think we had a record high 198,000 new U.S. cases reported on Friday. U.S. health officials said that the first vaccines could be administered to healthcare workers by mid-December. So more people are getting this thing than ever. I tested positive for it on Friday last week. I took the test on Thursday, and it seems like I know more people now that that have had it or have just contracted it recently. And my personal experience is that it's nothing more than just what I would have with a common cold. But I understand that everybody's a little bit different. But keep in mind this thing is definitely spreading. But it seems like there's some light at the end of the tunnel here. I mean, we've got multiple vaccines. And the markets seem to like it. The stock market's up. Has been up, has held together well. The energy markets have held together okay. So I suppose that the vaccine stuff is positive, despite the fact that cases are spiking. America's biofuel companies plan to ask a Biden presidency for what they're calling a clean fuel standard. There was a group of entities, including POET, Pacific Ethanol, the Renewable Fuels Association, in addition with some representatives from agriculture, from automotive industries, from electricity. They drafted a letter to Biden. This was one of the quotes. A federal clean fuels policy is crucial to provide a durable price signal for clean fuels deployment, including electricity, hydrogen, biofuels, and others across the country. So I don't know what a Biden administration is going to do in regard to fuels. I mean, in some of his speeches, he said he was going to ban fracking, and then toward the end of the campaign, he said no way. In any case, I mean, if you get something along these lines, some new legislation that helps biofuels, that's obviously a positive for ethanol, obviously a positive for corn. South American weather concerns persist. Recent rains in Brazil and Argentina were enough to help accelerate planting. Now, you look at the maps here, and Brazil's going to be kind of dry. A lot of Brazilian areas, key soybean growing areas, will be kind of dry for the next week to 10 days. And then you've got some rains returning in the extended forecast. Some of your key areas in Argentina will see a little bit of rain over the near term. So you've got some concern there, I think, regarding the weather situation in South America. It's not perfect by any means, and there's definitely some dryness in place and some concern there. Fund traders remain heavily long the grain complex. Funds were net, they were, let's see, small net sellers of corn in the week ending last Tuesday, small net sellers of soybeans, larger net sellers of wheat, but then probably bought some late in the week. At Friday's close, the private groups were estimating that funds were net long 268,000 contracts of corn, 214,000 contracts of soybeans, and net long 14,000 contracts of SRW wheat. So across the complex, you've got a pretty lengthy net long position here. Not quite as large as it had been, but still a ton of fund length with the end of the year coming up. And that's one thing that I'm concerned about, that we see some asset reallocation or something along those lines between now and year's end. And that's something that is a potential risk, certainly. Global wheat prices ticked lower last week. Prices in the Ukraine lost a couple percentage points. Prices in Russia were down a little bit. But the U.S. Futures market was mixed to higher last week, and we're higher here again this morning. I really think that this row crop market has helped to prop up these wheat prices here in the United States. And also, we've still got dry weather across a lot of the plains, which is definitely a concern. Remember, this is a holiday week. The grain markets are closed on Thanksgiving. We will close at at normal time on Wednesday, 1:20 Central Time, and then we will not reopen until Friday morning at 8:30 Central Time. So we're off all Thursday, no Thursday night trade. We will be back to business on Friday morning. We had a cattle on feed report on Friday. It was, I would call it neutral for the most part. Cattle on feed at 101. We were looking for something closer to 102. Placements 89. We were looking for something closer to 91. Marketings about 100. Looking for about 100. So I'm not going to say that that was a big deal one way or the other. Stock market again higher ahead of the cash open. The Dow is up 200. S&P's up 22. Bonds down a little bit. U.S. dollars down a little bit. Crude oil's up about 50 cents. 42.90 in the January WTI. Gold's down about $6. If you'd like some more information, visit my website, www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan. If you would like to know when, how, and specifically I am pricing corn, soybeans, and wheat throughout the year, check out that subscription service. It's $49 a month. You can cancel it at absolutely any time. Everyone have a great week. I'll talk to you same time tomorrow.